Let me tell you a bit about our Tasmanian plan when it comes to essential services. Now, we're releasing this today. It's a plan for Tasmania. It's a plan for Tasmania. And it's on our website. You'll find lots of plans there. And in this plan, we set out, now, there's no pretty pictures or anything like that. There's none of that. It's just clearly what we plan to do and what we have been doing. But I want to tell you what's in this document when it comes to guaranteeing the essential health and aged care services, particularly here in Tasmania. And I know Jeremy is so passionate about health services here in Tasmania, so passionate that he stayed being the health minister. $15 million for the Royal Flying Doctor Service, where we are right now. $4 million to support groundbreaking medical research in northern Tasmania through the Clifford Craig Foundation. There's record support for Tasmanian hospitals. Funding for Tasmanian hospitals has gone from up from $294.1 million when we first came to government, and it is now $567.2 million. And it will grow out to 2025-26 to $649.4 million. That's what investing in essential services looks like. I've talked to you about the cheaper medicines, and I've talked to you about guaranteeing Medicare. But we're also expanding, and this is a very important issue, and one very close to my own heart. We're expanding the early psychosis youth services, which has previously only been available on the mainland. And in the most recent budget, working together with Professor Pat McGorry, who's been a tremendous advisor to our government. I mean, he's completely apolitical. It's not about politics for Pat. It's about what is the best for mental health. And he's an extraordinary Australian. And he has taught me so much about youth mental health. And early psychosis interventions are having tremendous results in helping young people before these issues become unmanageable, arguably. And so in the budget, I wanted to ensure Tasmanians got access to this amazing work being done by Professor Pat McGorry, and we've extended those services to Tasmania and the ACT, so now all of Australia can get access to these tremendous services. And I know this one will be popular in Tasmania. We're expanding eligibility to Medicare-funded MRIs, which means that any hospital here in Tasmania that wants a Medicare licence for an MRI can have one, wherever they are in the state. And I know, Guy, you'd be very happy about this one. Life-saving devices for diabetics. Jenny and I were at Westmead Children's Hospital just a few weeks ago, where we were able to announce that now every single Australian, every single Tasmanian, of course included, who suffers with type 1 diabetes, there's 3,100 such people here in Tasmania, Australians in Tasmania, will have access to continuous glucose monitoring here in Tasmania. This is what you can do, friends. This is what you can do when you achieve that. A stronger economy. You achieve a stronger future. You can guarantee the essential services that Australians rely on. That's what you can do. This is why I am so obsessed with a strong economy. I stand up each day and I think they might be getting a little tired of me saying it. I don't think you guys are. Yes, it's true. I'm passionate about a strong economy because it does this. I have met the children whose lives have been changed by these support services. I've met the seniors who are getting care. I've met the people who get access to the National Disability Insurance Scheme, and I want them to continue to getting it. And there's only one way you can do that, and that's through a strong economy. And that's why I get passionate when I walk into a small business and I see them taking on apprentices or investing $250,000 in a new piece of plant and equipment because we've had the instant asset write-off. The excitement I see in those young apprentices starting out and having been able to keep their job all the way through the pandemic. I'm passionate about that because I know what it does. You know, when you do 8 budgets, you know what things cost. You know what matters. You know the decisions you have to make and the trade-offs that are inherent in those difficult decisions. And so you know, if I want to do more, there's only one way I can achieve it, and that is to focus on the things that grow the economy, that enable us to do all this. So while this is a time, and it is indeed a time where we face great uncertainty, and it is indeed a time where there are so many risks and so many unknowns, that is why this is not the time to risk all of this on Labor and the Greens. It is not the time. It is a time to focus on the known, on the certain, on the things that you know that you can count on a government that has been able to take us through and has a strong economic plan for the future to keep delivering, working in partnership with state governments like here in Tasmania. It really is a time to focus on what you know. What do we know about Labor? Well, we know last time they were in government, unemployment was higher. We know last time they were in government, electricity prices grew higher. We know last time Labor was in power that interest rates were higher. We know all that. But what we don't know about Labor is what they plan to do now. It's been 3 years since the last election. They've had 3 years to explain what they plan to do and come up with an economic plan. And here we are, we're 3 weeks out from an election. Nobody knows. Now, there's only two possible scenarios that I can think of. One is they don't know. Whose hands up for the they don't know? I think there's quite a few. They don't know. And their view is, well, look, just vote us in and we'll work it out when we get there. They're promising a review every second day. They haven't done the work over the last 3 years to know what they're going to do. And they're just going to turn up and go, well, what next? That's no way to come into government. I remember when we came to government. Eric will remember as well. When we came into government, we had a clear plan. In my area, I was responsible for stopping the boats. I had it down to the last sentence, the last action, what we would do every single day, every single week, and how long it would take. And we achieved it. We were ready. We were ready to go, and the results we achieved, we got rid of the carbon tax, we stopped the boats, and we began that process of restoring the budget, which by the time we hit the pandemic, we finally got the budget back into balance because we were ready to do the job. Now, after 3 years, nothing. And we're still waiting. And somehow they believe they can just slide up to the election and hope nobody notices. So perhaps they don't know. There's another alternative. They do know, but they're not going to tell you. I'll say this for Bill Shorten. He told Australians what Labor would do. And then Australians told him what they thought of it. If Labor have learnt one lesson from the last election is, don't tell them what we'll do. Why won't they tell you? It is a choice at this next election. It's a very important choice. And as we get closer and as we move from what has been an incredibly uncertain time, and people have just had to focus on just getting through each and every day, and it has been tough. Getting kids through school, homeschooling, running businesses, trying to finish apprenticeships, all the things that have gone, and then add to that the uncertainty of the world we live in now. There's a lot for Australians to take in. And that doesn't leave them in a place where they're feeling great about it. And I understand that. We understand that as a government. We've been living it also. But now is not the time to add more uncertainty to a very uncertain world. Now is the time to focus on what we know. And what we know from our government is our proven economic record and our clear economic plan that Australians can have confidence in. We didn't get unemployment down to 4% by accident. We didn't take Australia through this period and save 700,000 jobs in JobKeeper by accident. We didn't keep all of those apprentices in work, 220,000 of them in trade training right now, the highest level since 1963, the highest we've ever seen. We haven't got more Australians of working age in work today than at any other time in our history by accident. It was a result of our economic plan. So this is a choice. It's a choice between a strong economy or a weaker one under Labor and the Greens, which Tasmania know all about. It's a choice between a government that you may not like everything we've done, you may not like me that much, but that's not the point. The point is, you know what our plan is. You know what we've been able to do. You know where we want to go. And what you know at the moment is very important in a world that this is uncertain. Or you can choose an opposition in the Labor Party with the Greens that you don't know. Mr Albanese, who you don't know. And now is not the time to take a risk on what you don't know.